let them go. They keep stopping me from going where I'm supposed to go. I don't know, it's like every single time, bitch, you running through my mind. I be locked and loaded.
All right, everybody, hope you're doing great. 5:58, heading here into the office. Get a little bit of thunderstorms going on here, so you gotta be safe out there. Gonna be working on my language here this morning, and then I got a team meeting at 9 o'clock. Had to cancel my 11. We don't sponsor international students, so unfortunately that individual is gonna come in at 11 o'clock today. I wasn't gonna be able to make it. And then I think I have some kind of lunch meeting. I think it's a center of influence, kind of a, building out that network. And then I think I got an interview this afternoon as well. So working with Julie, the new recruiter, just in process and everything. So hope you're all doing great. Let's roll. Here we are, walking into the office. See, it's been rainy out there, thunderstormy. All right, let's see a roll. Everybody, did some quick planning for the day before getting started, and then uploaded my vlog from Friday. And then memories are getting a little bit low here on the SD card. I think it's like 64 gig. It is 64 gig. And so I need to be able to delete. I was deleting some old files, some old photos, some old videos that just don't need to be there anymore. And so for me, once the moment that I've uploaded it on YouTube, or taking a bunch of the photos and put into like a video montage, then I'll delete them. So just need to go through and clean out some more, just because it's getting too full. So even like right now as I'm recording, it says I only have 29 minutes to go before there's no longer going to be recording here on the SD card, and then it'll switch over to the hard drive. So anyway, hope you're all doing great. Let's keep rolling. All right, everybody, thinking about Motivation Monday, and before I roll out my podcast here this morning, and just thinking about what really motivates me to get me going. And a lot of times it's consistency, other times it's just my environment, and then ultimately it's habits that keeps it rolling. So, there's different things, obviously, from a goal perspective. I want, I would like more income. For income, for me, it's like a tool. It allows me to do different things for myself and, most importantly, my family. And after that, I start thinking about what I'm doing, though, on a regular basis. The 35-pound dumbbell, it's in my office, so it's going to get lifted. It's just how it is. When I see it, it's part of what I want to accomplish, what I want to do, and staying healthy. And 10 reps just like that, one set, better than nothing, right? And better than not doing it. So if the day gets in front of me and I'm not able to hit this 35-pound dumbbell again, then that's how it is. So I think sometimes people get stuck on this idea that they need to be running a marathon every single time, when it's more about those consistent habits that get us to where we really want to go. And so that's really where the motivation I'm going to talk about today on the podcast, as I'm kind of talking to you, is this idea that our environment and our habits have a tendency to either reiterate our motivation or they deter us from our motivation. So sometimes for a lot of people, they'll end up saying that they want certain things, but then if you look at their environment, it's just not conducive for that kind of behavior. And so there's no wonder it doesn't go the way that they want it to, because they're not actually setting themselves up for success based on the struggle that might exist already there. So an example would be, as they look at like their schedule of when they wake up, when they go to bed, and the different things that are in between all that, and there isn't ever time that they're ever in their gym clothes. So by never getting into your gym clothes, there's really good odds you'll never actually work out. And just by changing that habit in the morning of saying, okay, I'm gonna wake up a half hour early, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm just gonna walk around the neighborhood only for just like 5 or 10 minutes by the time I put on my gym clothes, right? So the habit really would be is getting up at a specific time, And so yes, you might like walk around and grab coffee, but getting in that habit of waking up at a specific time starts lending yourself to get to where you want to go. And yes, I mean, ultimately the outcome would be is, walking around, getting that exercise. But in the hustle and bustle of the day, the ultimate habit, though, is waking up, getting on clothes, and getting out the door. So it's those three things that gets you to where you want to go. Whether that's brushing your teeth or doing your hair, I don't think it's not important. As waking up at a specific time, putting on that specific clothing, tying those shoes, and getting outside the door. Now I know that somebody might listen to this and go, well, I live in the Midwest, I live in the upper the Northeast, we get winters. Yes, okay, understandable. Then walk around your house, right? Go to the local mall, go to a treadmill, change your apartment complex so that way there's a gym next door. Go buy a treadmill. Don't park your car in the garage and set up a little gym inside your house. I think there's a lot of different things that we could be doing to get ourselves there. And so my son is coming off of cross country, for myself, debating on, okay, so he was running Monday morning, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Is that something that he and I can do then? Wake up at 5 in the morning, drop off his brother at 5:30, come back home, and then go for a run. Go for a half hour, and then head to the office. So something that I'm looking at for myself and being able to make sure that I add that in, because it's important to me to be able to stay healthy for a longevity life. And I know that longevity, when it comes to it's not in my control. It truly is. I'm a faith person, so I believe that God is in control of that. Outside of some crazy stuff, right? So some gun person comes in here and decides to blast me. I can't handle that. A meteor falls through the sky, smashes me. Again, I'm not in control. I'm going to live my life, though, in hopes that I have a very long life and a very healthy life. And I feel like that's a part of really me being able to make sure I take control of those different things. Let's keep rolling. All right, everybody. Hope you're doing great. Heading home. It's about 6 o'clock. Putting a 12-hour day. And again, I don't do those every single day, but when I do, it feels productive. After lunch, I ended up ordering Jimmy John's through the app, so that way I could get a free Jimmy John's. And I did. Got the email basically immediately that I can now order a Jimmy John's for free. Expires December 20th, so that's pretty exciting. And then, so after that lunch, just ate at the office, and then had a 1 o'clock conference call, and then a 1:30 role played with Julie, the new recruiter, her language and her approach. And then at 2 o'clock, it was her first meeting, so she scheduled a meeting already today. She just wants to get in and start rolling, and so I really respect that. It's a unique personality, one that doesn't mind making mistakes, tripping over the words, not having to see and understand everything. But for her, she's like, hey, to really understand the process of what someone goes through, I just got to have someone that I've gotten into the process, and then I can start sending them the different things that we do in the interview process to move someone along. And so I totally get it. That's kind of the personality that I am. I'd rather just how to get it done than just let's figure it out. Let's just do it. Let's say yes first and then figure it out along the way. And then after that, the 2 o'clock interview that she had booked and set, met with her via technology. We used a Zoom video conference call to be able to do that. They're a student at Texas A&M, so that was good to be able to have that interview. And totally get it. From a student's perspective, they're going to interview a lot of different businesses. And so at the same time for us, College Station is about an hour and a half away from our office where we are. And so it just doesn't make sense to try to take a trip all the way up there for a college student that's going to graduate May of 2020 from a timing perspective. So the next one was then at 4 o'clock had an interview with Kyle. That went well, and reminded me that sometimes you just don't know what you want to do, right? And so it's okay to
to move. If you're not enjoying what's happening, he's a finance major, got into construction as a project manager, then went into commercial real estate. And so sometimes we adjust, right? Sometimes we do one thing and then we have to shift it to another. And there's nothing wrong with that from a career perspective. Just because we decided to major in something, or just because we decided to work for a particular company, doesn't mean to be there for the rest of our lives. And that doesn't mean to question your loyalty. It's just that we have different choices and aspirations and different family things that occur, right? So you might be in a committed relationship and that person gets a position that takes them to Las Vegas, and you're living in North Carolina. So all of a sudden now you and the family are going to Las Vegas. It wasn't on your radar. It's not a place that you necessarily picked that you wanted to live, but when the opportunity arises, you want to be able to have that flexibility to say yes. Other times, I'll say for some people, the opportunity arises and they say no. It's not the right fit for them. They'd rather allow their kids to finish at a particular school, or they're from a particular community, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm obviously a little bit more of a nomad, and so I don't mind moving and reloading and getting to know a different community, a different culture, a different city. Heck, I don't even mind learning a different language if needed, in order for me to be able to get to where I want to go, because I want to have that kind of flexibility in my own mind and the way that I approach things. We all have our own different aspirations. And then so after that, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, then it was quick conversation with Matt, hitting out the emails, and then a few phone calls that needed to get made to people that are in process, and then to a client. So all that to be said, 6 o'clock, finally was just like, gotta go, turn the lights off, lock the door. There are still things that need to get done, everybody. But when I looked at my list, kind of the sunset rule, things that had to get done today, got done today. And so tomorrow, those things will get taken care of tomorrow. So that's really where the mindset is at, from that perspective of have your list that needs to get done. I use OneNote because I'm working at getting more digital. It is 2019, right? We're getting into 2020, so I should be way more digital than I am, way less paper. And so I am pushing myself to leverage my Salesforce, my OneNote, my Outlook, my calendars, my digital calendars, and much more productivity than what I'm doing currently. Was able to schedule some meetings in those emails, a couple interviews, one COI, a center of influence. And that's the way that I leverage my personal relationships. So I have a list of basically 20 people who I like to give referrals to, and they like to give referrals back. And so that's really what you talk about, like using a feeder list when you sit down with people to get referrals. I like to use as well as a go-giver list. So what are some names of people that I can refer first before asking for referrals? So be a giver and then a getter. At the same time, be a giver. And even if nothing comes back, karma says that eventually it will. So that's kind of the mindset. So here we go. Working through a little bit of traffic. It's not too heavy. 6 o'clock on the west side here of Houston. So excited to be able to just get home in about, like it's saying, 23 minutes. If there's no traffic, I can get here in about 25. So this is not too bad. So when I first put in the GPS, it said 27 minutes to get home. And I've already been driving for a little bit. Let's roll, everybody. Sherm's out.
Meant to be true to you, a legend in the making. Make the best of every moment, cause nothing lasts forever, but forever I'll be focused. Focus on the now, never. This my testimony. Yeah. That's my testimony. I'm about to take all of you out. Nobody safe, you're playing it safe.